I think every real horror fan has had at least one experience of feeling out of place when compared with mainstream society, but I don't think there's ever been a really good attempt to understand why it is that people like horror. Like, most horror fans are generally normal people who have pretty good reasons for enjoying horror, but what are those reasons? The real reasons, not the ones that they tell people to make them leave them alone. That's what our podcast is about, interviewing people in the horror biz to find out what it is about horror that makes them happy. My name's Steve, I'm a bit of a psychology buff. My co-host is my friend Chris, who's a bit of a horror buff. And so far we've interviewed about 40 people in the biz and had a lot of fun with it. Just wanted to share with you some of the fun stuff. In this set of excerpts, we're going to be speaking to writer, director, producer Billy Pon, writer, actor, and director Rick Danford, and actor, producer, and director Victor Bonacore. Just sharing some of the more humorous moments. If you want to hear more of the real meat of the interviews, come check us out on Apple, Google, Spotify, or you can just use the player on our website. So in this interview, we'll be asking 3 sets of questions covering your childhood, teenage years, and adult years. We come at it from different directions because sometimes it triggers different memories that you've forgotten. But that said, it's not meant to be a therapy session. So if there's something you don't want to answer, just say pass and we'll move on.
Yeah, I'll answer and cry. I'm okay.
Smiles and cries, man. Smiles and cries.
The wife's not there to hold your hand.
No, she hates us. She hates
she'll come back from church and be like, "What the hell happened to you?"
I don't know why she's even with me. It's like my movie. She likes scary stuff, but more psychological stuff. My stuff is too, I guess, aggressive and mean for her. She doesn't like it at all.
Maybe we need to get her on the show.
My mom too. My mom won't watch this stuff either, so it's sad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As long as you're making money and happy with it.
Shit, I'm already 5 minutes in, about to cry.
Oh.
You can get off the beaten path that aren't as acclaimed as that. I kind of like that some of the Italian horror, like Torso, from an artsy standpoint. You know, they kind of left you high and dry on the effects and stuff, but that was kind of the time.
Did you see that when you were a kid?
I did see all this when I was a kid. I'd watch anything I could get my hands on, especially at
I was just surprised that you got your hands on Torso because, like you say, Italian film. So.
Well, you guys were probably too young, but like drive-ins are all the rage when I was a kid, 5 or 6. And my dad would go and you'd go see a Mickey Mouse movie, and on the screen next to it, it'd be playing.
I think I'm actually more surprised that Torso, you saw it at a drive-in. I was thinking you got that at like a
bodega
home
or
video.
Something. Yeah, or home video. Yeah, same here. I'm actually surprised.
Especially in Texas.
Yeah, well, I mean, even like
international film on a drive-in in Texas. Like, what?
I want to say that, and I want to say, and it wasn't a trailer. I don't know, but I saw a lot of good stuff like that. But I didn't see like Rosemary's Baby there too and stuff like that, and didn't understand much what was going on. But it just felt a certain way. But I mean, I was like every kid when Star Wars come out, and I was like 7, 8 years old. I was like, this is the shit, and I want to make movies, And I just figured out later that it should be horror movies. So that's what I like about it. It's just very, what do you call it? They love one another. They love the craft. They love the thing, and there's not as much bickering, I guess, as far as like the superhero movies and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I want to say it's familial, but there's got to be a better word for it.
There's got to be a better word.
Incestual.
Yeah, well, some of them. Sometimes that is included.
Yeah, but it does get like I always get a lot of Art the Clown stuff people send to me and stuff. So I kid around about it. It's tongue in cheek. I really respect the movie a lot and happy for what they did and all this and how popular they got. So yeah, I like to kid around about that, but I get a lot of people that send me Art the Clown pictures and stuff and always mess with me and stuff. But, I take it, tongue in cheek and try to have fun with it. It's just innately in us as, kids. We're curious about monsters. I got a 3-year-old grandbaby, almost 4, and she can name every killer, Michael Myers, Freddy Krueger, all this stuff.
Oh, okay, I thought you were going to say like real serial killers.
No, not. We haven't gone there yet. We'll wait a little bit. But see, I had a grandson.
That's
too.
when she's 6.
Yeah.
Well, though, when they're 6, they get scared and they start backing off of this stuff. But see, right now she's all into it and she digs it. And I got like a Popcorn, the clown doll that she plays with, from the movie and stuff. And she'll sing to it like a My Buddy doll and all this kind of stuff. It's hilarious. It's like he's a serial rapist clown, baby. He's my friend, Papa.
Yeah, she don't know that.
Popcorn's my friend.
She doesn't understand yet.
Yeah.
Any recurring dreams in your teens?
Nah, just like sexual wet dreams. You wake up all blessed.
Yeah.
No, I'm glad that was the one good thing.
Not counting those. Everybody has those.
Oh, yeah.
I could have those. I could be, raped by 1,000 Hawaiian tropic girls in my dreams now, and nothing will happen. So it's like, I'll be like, you're going to have to kick it or punch it or bite it or something. It just takes more the older you get. So
you got a rubber band? I got this trick.
No, I'll tell you the trick is you put the larger Funyuns on there and then try to get aroused and break the Funyuns. I call it the Hulk is what I call it. Y'all can quote me on that. The Hulk.
There's the soundbite for this interview, Steve.
Yeah.
Bunyan ring.
I remember telling the wife that. I said, "Hey, watch this," and I don't know. She started laughing so hard she was like crying. She goes, "I don't know why I married you, and you do this weird stuff like that." But the worst part was after I broke them, I still ate them. I'm not going to waste them. What the hell?
Oh God. So you said you were 12 or 13. About what years would that have been?
Oh boy. I didn't think there was going to be math on this show.
It's too early for math.
12 or 13. I was, let's see, probably 79, 80, somewhere around there.
So that's kind of strange because I was thinking, when you were talking about the radio program, I didn't think that was something that would still be going on the radio until, late 70s, early 80s. That's
kind of
12
in like the 50s. What happened there?
It's still going on today.
Were you in a
still going on today, believe it.
for a while?
Really?
Yeah, there are still shows on there today.
Yeah. No, I believe
Absolutely.
that. It's like it's sounded to me like the horror version of 970 FLA, like shit you would just listen to late at night with crazy crackpot theories sometimes, but more with fictional horror stories. It sounds like.
Yeah, they're actually full blown what they call radio plays. Full cast. So it's like basically listening to a movie because they actually had the roles cast and everything else, and it's a beautiful thing. And a funny story about that is that I remember when we went to the drive-in to see it. Like I said, I had my younger sister with me, and I remember if you remember the movie, there's a scene where she's on the bed and her eyes turn white. I remember that very scene because at that very moment when her eyes turned white, my sister screamed out, ran out of the car and ran into the bathroom and didn't come out. To this day, she's tried to watch the movie multiple times and she said she can't get past that one scene. So, it's so messed up.
Nice.
Well, if it's the cross scene, if she was your younger sister at the time, maybe a good thing that she left the car and didn't watch that.
That's true. That's true. The cross scene was pretty intense.
Yeah. Any least favorite costumes?
Oh God. Least favorite was probably this one Frankenstein that we did many, many, many horrible years ago, and I had a friend of mine put me up, and it's like it started coming apart, and it just at one point I just figured forget it, and just took it off and enjoyed everybody else, and burned it somewhere.
Yeah, ones that fall apart usually aren't all that fun.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, even when it was together, I don't think it was all that fun.
Yeah, can relate.
I'll listen, even to this day, every once in a while, I'll listen to some of those horror radio shows and I'll put them on and go to sleep to them. And the reason I do that is hoping that they infest.
Hoping you'll have a dream.
Yeah, because to me, it's like people talk about, oh my God, I had a nightmare last night. It bothered me. I'm like, oh my God, I'm hoping to have a nightmare.
Right? Like, I got a notepad next to my bed. I'm ready for it.
Exactly. I don't know how my movie, The Web of Darkness, that actually came from a nightmare that I had. And I woke up in the morning and started jotting down the notes because that's one thing with me. I don't know if it happens with a lot of people, but when I have really juicy dreams like that or whatever, the more the day goes on, you forget what happened. Yeah. So I try to write down what I remember as quickly as I can, and then I just kind of develop the rest of it after that. But yeah, that was all because of a nightmare. So nice. I love it. Nightmares to me are good stuff.
Did not introduce any new fears or trigger any existing ones. No. You were going to say something?
I was trying to think. I'm saying no, definitely not Rocky Horror. Other than the fear of having to wear pantyhose in front of anybody, but I didn't do it.
That is where I stopped. I was this close to playing Brad, and they're like, and then you get to do the floor show, and I'm like, no.
Yeah, no, we didn't go there. That was for the actors that followed us.
Right?
Yeah.
I never really played, or at least I can't remember ever doing the Ouija board.
Yeah, me either. Because just in case, what if it is real? You don't play with that kind of stuff.
I might need one of these someday.
Yeah, right. Or I might want to not piss off something that's on the other side by making a game out of something they take seriously. Like, yeah.
Well,
right. Well, that's why I don't have that little planchette, that tool they talk about. Yeah. I don't have it sitting on the board. I have it set aside or on the table underneath it or whatever. Yeah. I don't even put it on the board to give it a chance to move on its own or whatever. So,
because the last thing you want is, having a party, some drunk asshole's like, oh, hey, spirits, can you open up the gates of hell in this living room? Y-E-F. What?
Actually, no, there's a one that just says yes. So just point to yes.
Even better.
That's right.
That's right. For yes or no answers, you're right. There's yes, just that.
Yeah, but hey, Parker Brothers made it. Remember, it's got to be safe.
Yeah, exactly. It's safe for kids. It says 8 years and up.
Got to be.
You must be this tall to summon Satan.
Very nice.
Satan pops up. What? You're too young. I'm out of here.
Shoot your eye out, kid.
Call me back in 10 years. Oh, God.
I think I went to my first convention, I guess, when I was like 15, 16. I remember my mom driving me to Chiller Theater in New Jersey. And I was so excited to know that there was a horror convention. Yeah.
It's funny that you mentioned that because I've been trying to get in touch with Kevin Clement, who runs that. He owned a shop called Chiller Theater in Rutherford, New Jersey, where I went to high school.
Right on.
And so I've been trying to get in touch with him. I need to try that again.
Yeah, no, he's a super nice guy. I remember getting into Fangoria magazines and stuff like that, and then finding out about conventions, maybe the early days of the internet, and going on message boards and shit, and then there's a convention and where you can go meet Linda Blair and the dude from Basket Case. And I remember my first convention, my mom drove me to Chiller. And I remember meeting Gunnar Hansen,
nice,
and Linda Blair and Kevin Van Hendrick from Basket Case, and just being the happiest kid in the world.
Right?
And
How old were you?
15, 16, something
Okay.
like that. I wasn't driving.
Fantastic.
I remember my mom, and I remember just being I couldn't believe this existed. I was like, there's literally, I can go meet these people. I remember meeting the dude from Basket Case and him having a Belial prop from one of the movies. And I have pictures of that and that no one will ever see. And but yeah, there was and I think that even dug me more into the world. And then you're at a convention and you're like, what are these things? And with these movies over here, and then I start discovering independent horror films and stuff like that. So yeah, I think definitely Chiller was a huge part of that too. Check it out, man. It's because it's so entertaining. It's just entertaining as fuck, and I can watch that over and over too. So I would definitely.
What about it was entertaining to you?
Man, the main guy, Mike Strauber, the mask, it's Tim Ritter's movies. All of them have this thread of catching your wife cheating on you.
Yes,
and then it drives you crazy. And then you go out killing people. That's what his movies are always about. And Truth or Dare is just. There's this scene when this guy's he's so upset that his wife cheated on him that he goes to the beach and there's these shots of him in this car and he's driving down the highway and this song playing and it's this Casio keyboard kind of electronic music, and then the song ends and then it restarts up again and then it drives. And then he gets to the beach and then it's piano music playing and he's depressed, but you can tell it's serious. These are they want this to be dramatic. And then he goes to the beach and he randomly fights somebody in the water. And then that's just on the beach. And then there's a scene where he's at this campfire and he's in the middle of the woods. He's really depressed. He's going mad. And then this woman appears out of nowhere. She's just a figment of his imagination and starts playing Truth or Dare with him. And I just can't tell you how many times I've watched that scene. It's just, she's daring him to throw his wallet in the fire. And she's like, I dare you to throw your wallet in the fire. He's like, all right. And he does it. And then she's like, now cut your tongue out. And he's like, all right, I will. And he starts cutting his tongue out. And then he's in the mental institution. And then people's heads are exploding in the mental institution. It's fucking great. And it's just, it's so, I've showed so many people that movie.
So, considering the theme of the podcast, is there anything relevant that you're aware of that we haven't asked about or talked about?
Yeah, did we miss anything?
Yeah.
No, I mean, no, you touched on some shit that I've never thought about before. Yeah, the dolls thing. I'm sitting in my living room right now looking at all my dolls. And I'm getting a little freaked out, man.
Yeah.
Why?
I got like a paper mache Michael Jackson looking at me. I got a fucking stand up of the Miz looking at me, and yeah. So you guys delved into some shit, you know?
Yeah, can relate. I just counted 14 pop vinyls that stare at me every day as I sit in my office at home doing my remote job, and I'm not gonna feel the same way now. They're all just black, lifeless eyes too,
staring at you.
Yeah.
Stop looking at me, Finn.
Stop looking at me, Swan.
So yeah, come check us out over at horrormakeshappy.com or check out some of our other excerpts until you find someone whose interview you do want to hear.